Welcome back to Corey Michaels Movies, and thanks for being with me here at the video store tonight. It's kind of lonely here without you guys, so glad you can make it. We're going to have a fun video tonight of, you know, something I thought would be fun at least. Top horror VHS covers, or at least 10 of them. You know, there's plenty of great horror VHS covers, but we got to narrow it down to 10, and let's get this thing started. All right, first up we have one of my personal favorites, and it is Fright Night. But we're not talking about the movie, even though I do love it. We're talking about this amazing cover here, guys. Okay, this is a classic 80s cover. We have the vampire chick who has been turned into a cloud, and she's over the house. Just a great cover. I mean, you know, when you got, whatever the kid's name, he's standing out here in the window looking out. Classic cover. Yeah, this has to make the list for classic covers. Next up, we have Chopping Mall. Okay, great cover, but also a great title. Chopping Mall, what a great play on words. What do we got here? We got a robot arm holding a grocery bag with an eyeball, a foot, and a face sticking out of it. What was going on back in the day in these horror covers? Great B movie here also, but, you know, where shopping can cost you an arm and a leg. Whoever come up with this cover and title, you were doing something right there, okay? Next up, we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's take a minute here. We have Leatherface running down the road with his chainsaw. I mean, look, we can respect this cover, right, guys? And we got the eyes, the final girl, I can't remember her name in this movie, her eyes above him. Just, you don't get artwork like this on covers anymore. You don't, and they're meant for horror movies. You just don't get them anymore. This is a great one. Next up, we have Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead. Look at this cover, guys. We have this poor girl who's trying to escape the Deadite here, but he's got her by the neck, trying to bring her down into the grave, into the pits. What an awesome cover. I mean, it's just, this is a scary cover. If I were to see this as a kid in like a Hollywood video or a Blockbuster, I'd probably be intrigued and not be allowed to watch this film. And, you know, if my mother saw this cover, I think she would not let me see this. Awesome cover. Next up, we have Stephen King's and George Romero's Creepshow. This, to me, is a good movie. Even better cover. Iconic cover. We have a skeleton who seems to be halfway alive running a ticket booth at a movie theater. It just doesn't get much better than this. We got a mouse hanging out of his pocket. And once again, the whole theme with these covers is they're all hand-drawn. This is all artwork. It's not like now where you got 5 actors on a cover. The heyday of classic covers, definitely in the 80s. And this is a great one here. Like it says, the most fun you'll ever have being scared. Awesome. Awesome cover. Up next, we have Halloween. What can I say about this cover that's not already been said? It's kind of simple, kind of plain, but very iconic. We have the knife slashing into the pumpkin that's carved out. When you see this cover, everybody knows this cover. It's Halloween. Like I said, sort of simple, but it has to make the list of the top 10 or a top 10 horror cover video because it just has to. It's iconic. Up next, we have Gremlins. I consider this a horror movie, more on the fair side, but what's really scary is this cover. Okay, can we appreciate this cover? We have Stripe jumping out of the box, which it looks like is in place of Gizmo's poor head. He's pretty much taken the place of Gizmo's head here. So, yeah, this guy, it's the artwork. It keeps going back to the artwork. That's what makes these covers. Once again, you know, it's Gremlins, not that scary of a film, but the artwork, that's what does it. Up next, we have The Town That Dreaded Sundown. So, you know, first look, kind of a plain cover, but there's something ominous about this guy looking over this town with a bag over his head. I don't know what it is about this cover, but there's something it's just creepy. He's got a couple eye holes, but that's all you need, you know? Sometimes the simple is really what gets you. Less is more for this cover for me. I just love it. So it makes my list. Okay, up next we have a kind of a not well-known horror film, other than, you know, in the VHS community, The Video Dead. This one's wild, people. We have a mutant zombie skeleton bursting out of a TV screen. This is, back in the day, this would have been one of those films you never heard of, really. You never saw the preview of, but when you walk down the aisles of Blockbuster, if you saw this tape, you have to rent it. That's the thing with these tapes. They might not all be great films, but the cover, that's what sold you. And looking at this cover, look what's living inside your television. It's sold for me. Alright guys, we're down to the last one, and we have Child's Play number 2. Not as good a film as Child's Play 1, but I think a better cover. We have Chucky cutting off this poor clown's head, okay? You know, some people might say clowns are creepy, but can we look at Chucky here? I mean, this little monster, he's got scissors over here. And, so yeah, cool cover. It's Chucky, you know? I've never been deathly afraid of the guy, but if I saw that running around in my room at night, you know, I'm gonna be scared. So that makes the list. Well, guys, pretty simple video. You can't go into too much detail, but you gotta show off some of these classic covers, because we don't have them like this anymore. Once again, it's just a Photoshop pretty much mess. You don't get the artwork like you did back in the day. And back in the day, there was nothing better than the horror section, really. Those covers were great. I mean, you had other great covers like Star Wars and Indiana Jones, but the horror ones just, if I was a kid, I'd probably be fascinated by them, want to watch them, probably wouldn't be allowed to watch them. So we got to give a shout out to some great horror covers. So hopefully you found this video at least halfway amusing, you know, something to that degree. And, you know, figured it'd be a fun video for the spooky season, guys. So make sure you like, comment, sub, let me know what other video you'd like to make, and go catch a flick.